Just going to say it. I told you so.
Told you so.
Okay. Yes, you might be confused since it is a Monday, the day before Tuesday, which is when we typically release the podcast. Missing a podcast last week, Corey has shown up and graced us with her presence.
Well, I thought today was a day off because my kid's off school, husband's off work. But then I show up to Heather's house to chill, and she says, "Ready to work?"
I have been working since 9. Okay. Well,
I have
on that
too.
Okay. On that note. Okay. So we're going to kind of do this more of an off the cuff one. Basically, I just wanted to get on air right now and just say, I told you so.
Folks, she's referencing the
being right all the time. And it's just here to prove it once again.
The great Facebook crash of 2021. Granted, I was already restricted, so I didn't miss out on anything.
Were you restricted that day?
Yeah.
Okay, so a little recap. If you are not big on Facebook, shame on you. Just kidding. You're probably better than the rest of us. But Facebook, you know, if you've been paying attention to anything I talk about when we talk about front doors and houses of websites, the front door is www.facebook.com and the house is the website. Mm-hmm. Apparently the bolts that connected the door to the house
popped out,
vanished. But the crazy thing was it's not something you can fix remotely. That's why it took so long to get back up.
Oh, because it was 7 hours?
Yeah, 6 or 7 hours. And on top of that, Corey also got banned from Facebook. So you want to give us a little synopsis?
Okay. I wanted to tell you guys what the admin team has to deal with. And usually I screen everyone who enters the group. I try to screen them.
Yeah, so the little workflow is somebody sees the group and they click join. Then they're prompted with 3 questions and 10 rules they need to agree with. Yeah. The questions are, how'd you hear about us? What are you here to learn?
And then do you agree to the group rules? Or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And usually the one I always make sure you have to answer to enter the group is, I agree to the group rules.
Mm-hmm. So they're all okay. It's a little over inundated. Did I agree to the rule? It's not so much that as it is to check to see if you're a spam account, because spam accounts usually auto populate with just the word yes, even if the question isn't a yes or no question. So it's a dead giveaway that it's a spam account to let it in.
Okay.
But every once in a while, Corey pushes a snooze button on being active.
I swear he answered it.
Okay, there's a gentleman requested to join the group and answered the questions like a legitimate person. Whether he was a bot or not, I mean, he probably was a bot.
Well, I caught another dude doing it yesterday. And I said, you are too handsome to be baking cookies at night. So I did my research.
You forward them to me, those profiles.
And looked him up. And he had just created his profile yesterday. But he had answered all the questions correctly.
So it seems like the bots are getting smarter, which is fascinating. Anyway, so Corey lets in a guy who immediately...
I don't think he was bot. I think he had a fetish.
Here's the thing. Because the group is called Sugar Cookie Marketing, it pulls up for anybody looking for sugar babies.
We got a daddy.
So this is Sugar Daddy. Was looking for a platonic relationship where he's sending feet photos. That's what he posted. Okay, it was spam. It linked to a WhatsApp account.
But he was posting it so many times
so
that
fast.
We couldn't
the script was putting in overtime and Corey's putting in undertime. But anyways, what happened was he writes this kind of funny comment.
He said, let me buy your hand and feet photos with my email. He put his email address, put his phone
about
number.
To apply. Corey deletes the post, right?
But I screenshot it.
And then Corey writes this funny thing like, LOL, caught the bot. Because a couple of people had messaged the page saying, hey, just so you know, this is happening. And then Corey screenshots it, makes a funny joke, goes to bed, wakes up, and Zuckerberg said, we do not allow solicitation for feet photos. You've been banned for 3 days from Facebook entirely, 7 days from all group activity, and 60 days from going live, participating in lives, and running Facebook ads.
Yeah. Yep.
So Corey hasn't been around.
So I've been very productive in my personal life.
So
even when I went to accidentally like and comment in a group, it let me. And then it sucked the like away and it says, you're restricted. You can't do this for another 5 days and 2 hours.
So we're thinking what are the workarounds? Corey made a fake profile. Immediately some Good Samaritan reported it as a duplicate of Corey's real account, which it was. And they were wrong. But I think Facebook ruled in your favor.
Facebook says, doesn't look like they're trying to be you. But I'm like, they're directly being me.
Another like our last name is Miracle, which is kind of weird, but my dad loves to delete Facebook completely and then sign back on. Like he'll be like, I'm done with this app, deletes it completely, and then goes to create a new account when he's undone with the app. But because he's done it so many times, he won't allow him to use the last name Miracle because they say it needs to be an actual last name. Yeah. They don't recognize Miracle. So when Corey goes to make her fake real profile, it says no. So Corey and my dad have the same fake last name.
Corey Mira.
I had Heather Mira for a long time.
Yeah, they did.
And then I had to send him my ID, but my dad has done the ID thing. They will not change it. And they also cited that nobody's working at Facebook corporate.
Apparently not. It's against the terms of service to have a fake Facebook profile.
You know what's really interesting? Okay, just so everyone realizes, this is an off-the-cuff podcast. We're not following a script. We're just talking.
I didn't bring my laptop today because I didn't think it was a work day.
Really? Corey took Columbus Day entirely too seriously. So when we remove spam accounts or people who violate the rules extensively, what we can do now is not only block the person, we can ban the person from ever seeing that the group existed and all their future profiles. Now, it doesn't backdate. Like a couple of people I've seen join with 2 different accounts.
Yeah.
If I boot one of your accounts, the other one's always still there to go find it. Little, search and seizure. But it's really interesting. So anyways, back to our off-the-cuff topic is what we've been saying is if Facebook went away, how would you be able to handle
introduce us? We already are annoying on the podcast from the reviews that I saw, so at least
Corey found that someone left us a bad review. Jocelyn, if you're listening, I think Corey's annoying too. Okay, the laughter gets on my nerves.
I'm trying not to laugh so much. Okay, Heather, if someone's just tuning in for the first time, where are they and what are they in for?
You found yourself in the back cavern of Spotify, but we typically do these podcasts every week on Tuesday. We missed last week because Corey was living a life.
Because Heather was doing community service to get out of a ticket.
Oh, I got to talk about that too. Since we're just talking about whatever. So anyways, this is a podcast about sugar cookie bakers, but we got more than just bakers.
Broad baking.
Something's
marketing.
coming out of your house and being sold to somebody else.
You're turning the oven on.
You're selling your feet pictures and you're making a profit. So what we talk about typically, which we'll talk about tomorrow in the more structured podcast.
With the laptop in front of me.
Is a business of baking, marketing mindset, kind of that kind of stuff to lead us into questions from you guys, which you've had a lot of awesome ones. I guess people are feeling bad thinking that we have abandoned the podcast.
Yeah, they're like, I guess we should.
Hello.
Are you there?
Someone said, I created. Okay, because I was the only admin. It was just sheer havoc in the group.
What's great is I could read everything. I could not do anything about it.
I let and then Corey gets her profile activated today, and everyone's like, we missed you. No, you didn't. I was the favorite parent. I let you guys act up all weekend. Nobody had to brush their teeth. And now
I'm back. People like structure.
I let there be a thread saying non-marketing related questions only. It's over at 1,500 comments.
I wanted to help people with non-marketing.
But somebody says, are you going to delete this? I said, I don't know, I might. And she's like, I will call into podcast and cry. I said, if that's what it takes. Absolutely. So then we talk about, your guys' questions and group stuff. So Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook has
26,000.
Less 200 and one footman.
And one fake profile.
Yeah, it has 26,000 people that are there to really build each other up. We are strict on the rules that we keep it a positive marketing mindset place. No room for negativity because there's plenty of that anyways out there. So we kind of focus on how can we make more money and rob people blind. Really positive.
Just kidding. Please do not leave a review.
And then we wrap it up with, we have some awesome sponsors, which we'll have to mention on this one since we promised them we would.
Try to remember since I don't have my laptop.
All 3 of them. And then after that, we Twinterest, which was specifically requested not to be deleted off the podcast.
I have a Twinterest this week.
Probably 26,000 of you were like, delete it, but the 26,001th person was like, please don't, and we'll be leaving it. So in this impromptu podcast, Corey, what would you like to cover today? I would like to cover, this is still Heather talking.
Okay. That sounded like me.
I asked and answered. I'd like to cover what happened on Tuesday and what your thoughts are for the people who did see this as like oh no, this is what they were talking about.
Okay, I like that. I guess I would like to talk about, and I don't think mine will be long, more of a preachy soapbox thing. When you say to the group, I don't know why I'm not making sales, and then we go to your page and you haven't posted in 6 months, I would like to address that.
But we're talking about what happened on Tuesday.
Yeah, you said we do business of baking and marketing minutes. There's always two topics.
I just want to talk about Tuesday.
Yeah, that's your section and then my section.
Okay, I didn't realize my unstructured podcast only became structured. So on Tuesday, all of Facebook went down. The doors came off the hinges, and a lot of people realized that they had a lot of eggs in Zuckerberg's basket. And if Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp disappeared tomorrow, they would be...
There was a ton of people that realized their businesses would be floundering if those disappeared. From customer contact information.
Customers who had to pick up that next day, they were unreachable because all the contact had been existing on Facebook. And not that Facebook is bad or negative. And yes, there are bad and negative aspects of any company. But from the aspect of not being able to access your clients through email,
through Messenger.
They were, but now you can't email them. You never collected that information. Your entire history with this client exists on a platform that was inaccessible.
Yeah.
What were you to do? So a lot of people said, wow, I really need a website.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens when somebody buys something on a website? They have to check out, and checkout always requires email or phone.
And most of the people that reach me start off on Facebook. Whether they're doing research, they'll send my page.
It's a great place to find business.
So they'll send me a message, they'll give me a few details, and I'll be like, hey, if you don't mind, can you fill out this form real quick?
And Corey just takes them off of Facebook. And I think you use JotForm.
Yes.
So JotForm, and we require that people who submit on your JotForm submit their name, address, and phone number.
Yeah, just in case.
So that's 3 different ways Corey can message him on Facebook. Again, that's typically how you go back and forth. But she has all the order details and everything she needs to know about pickup and contact information off the platform, which again is diversifying your lead funnels and also not being tied to one platform that, as we learned on Tuesday, can go the way of the dodo if you know things happen.
Heather was great and actually set up in my
Did you hear
auto.
That, guys? Heather was great.
Heather was great, and in my autoresponder set up a auto response that has my form right in there, and we called it the Get to Know You form, and that's where they start. And it says, "Hey, can you fill out this form? Once you fill it out, Corey will reach back out to you via email to confirm the details with you." So anyone who messages my page will automatically get that response, and I actually have it there to save me some time because I update my job form with my availability. So if they choose a date that's not available on the calendar, I never get the form, which is great because it saves me back and forth. If I truly can't take their order, I'll mark it off on my calendar on JotForm, and then it just grays out that area and saves us both time.
Exactly. So if you're hearing this and JotForm, never heard of it, think about it, Google Forms plus more customization. It's something I did a whole class on in the Cookie College last week. The Cookie College, what's that?
The Cookie College. Heather and I saw that there was a need in the community. So that's when we started Sugar Cookie Marketing. A lot of people were like, oh, I barely charge anything. This is just fun hobby for me.
But it's getting expensive and I can afford it.
Yeah. So we said, hey, let's help people market so they can make more, so they can actually turn this into a profitable business instead of a money-sucking hobby. Then from that, we saw in Sugar Cookie Marketing, hey, there's some people who are ready to grow. Like they're not looking for, what should I name my business? They have a business and they want to grow that business with marketing strategies that are a little bit more on the deeper level of things.
Talking about DNS records and how to change them, and how to set up custom emails, and how to set up a job form.
So we started the Cookie College. Sadly, it sold out, but
we have a few seats opening up. We have some college dropouts.
College dropout? Guys, this is your mom talking. Get back in school.
So that's what we talked about in the Cookie College. I built out a job form. Now, job form is free.
Up to
1,000 views as long as there's no payment.
Just views, folks.
So that means if someone views it, you use up one of those. If you get a month. So how many of you guys are blasting out to 1,000?
Me.
Now, with Corey's job form for what I built out last week, which was DIY kits for Halloween, like family sized, we're accepting payment through job form, which I just connected it through PayPal. You can use Stripe, you can use Square. That you can only accept 10 before you've reached your free cap.
Oh, that's nothing.
Right. So basically, if you're going to start making money on their platform, pay them their cut.
And it's not horrendous. It's not like you're looking at a giant monthly bill from them.
No, I think it was $20, $29, something like that a month. Or you can circumvent it all. At the end of the day, paying somebody for something usually saves you time, which is, translates to money. If you want to circumvent that, then you'd invoice them separately. and then, do it directly through Square. Of course, now you have one more step between sending them submitting their order and them paying where they can fall out versus to submit the job form, they have to pay. So just something to think about there. But anyways, back to Tuesday, 7 hours. We were on, it felt kind of weird not being able to chit chat on Sugar Cookie Marketing
Because
Group.
I was already restricted, I felt nothing. I was numb and grateful everyone was experiencing the same hell with me.
But I want everyone to, and this is going to be my twin twist, I want everyone to acknowledge how many times they pulled out their phone, hit the Facebook icon, only to realize nothing was there. How many times? Be honest with yourself. Because my phone done reported it to me.
Every time I took a breath, I pulled out the phone, clicked it, and it was something from a day ago.
Yeah, so it's just crazy how easy it is to grab your phone and click an icon.
In the gym,
in
the gym that day, when
people actually had to look at each other and get out the
we actually had to work out. We were just sitting there. I would pick up my phone to scroll just in between sets because you don't want to make eye contact.
Right.
But then it wasn't scrolling. I was in my images, just on my in my own photos.
Stuff. I was going through the settings and being like, yeah, I don't know.
I said, that's what my kid looked like. He cute. I haven't seen him in a while.
I started uninstalling old apps, getting rid of PDF menus I downloaded the past COVID year with the QR codes. Oh, it was weird. I met Corey for the first time.
I had dinner with my family.
Who's the family? You got married?
I think so.
So that was that one. So if Facebook went away tomorrow, if you couldn't access your clients at all, buddy, here's your challenge. Think about how you can diversify. If that is a website and email list.
Let's just talk about a few of the options. Heather has gone over GMB, which stands for, go ahead.
Google My Business.
Which you can find on, go ahead.
Google.
Which is, go ahead.
Google search. No. What is it, GMB? Google My Business.
Explain what it is.
Google My Business. When you go to Maps and you type in an address of a place and it populates, hey, here's the address. They'll be closed by the time you get there. That's all pulling from Google My Business, which is Google's directory. To create a Google My Business account, I think you go to business.google.com and just follow the prompts.
How much is it?
Do not. I gotta say this disclaimer. If you set it up incorrectly, it will show your address. Do not come to this group and say, I'm about to delete it. Boo, just delete it then. Nobody cares if you delete it or not. You have to set it up with a certain primary category. Otherwise, it will display your address. So the category that does display is bakery. Don't use that one. Do not use that one. If you use that one, your address will be displayed and people will go to your home and ask for a bakery item. Use cooking class. It doesn't make sense. It's a temporary hold until they fix the other issue. There you go. There you go.
And how much is a Google My Business?
Currently it is free, but they have not promised that will always be free.
Can you get a free little tiny website with it?
It comes with it. Corey's these leading questions. It comes with a very baby website that only pulls from the information that you've provided in Google My Business. So your hours, it lets you say if you're closed or open on Columbus Day, which, a lot of people haven't confirmed there. If you ever go to a business on a holiday like today and it said hours may vary, that means they haven't confirmed their hours for today's holiday or Thanksgiving or whatever. So you'd go in and it would prompt you, hey, are you open for Thanksgiving? No, I'm not. Then when you go to navigate to a business like that, it will say, hey, it's closed today.
And what's great about a Google My Business listing is you can add photos. So someone who doesn't even know you can already check you out. And then Google sends an awesome little email once a month saying this many people viewed your photos, this many people clicked to call.
Yeah, and they're adding more and more features. So you can add products, you can add you can create a tiny menu off of it now, and people can message you directly from your Google My Business profile without calling you.
So you're saying this is almost like a Facebook page, but on Google?
Yeah, Google has the intention to move it into more of a social media space. They haven't figured out that portion yet, but for now, it is very handy.
Right. So that is one thing that is free to you. So all you excuses, people, take that.
Another great thing is using your email. And I'm a big fan of custom email. So when you hear
explain what a custom email is.
So I'm going to use Corey as an example. CoreyMiracle@gmail.com, not custom email.
That is just me.
It is Corey on an email provider that is Gmail.
And before anyone sends me an email, that's not my email.
And HeatherMiracle@gmail.com is not me, but you can spam that person and tell her to give it up. A custom email would be hello@CoreyMiracle.com. Now, it is connected to a domain name, which is very simple to purchase. And to configure, you can actually use Google Domains, and it kind of builds it in there for you.
Yeah, so mine is hello@thecrumbedcookies.com, and that's where all my business goings happen. That's where I direct anyone who's buying from me, and that's where I can create a email list.
An email list, which you can connect to a email sender like MailChimp. Now, why wouldn't you just send your emails through your Gmail?
Because you're going to burn.
Yeah, you're going to burn your email address. Sending email senders like MailChimp, or you guys may have heard of Klaviyo, or we use SendGrid.
Someone said, don't finish your sister's sentences. I can't help it. I was born this way.
In the reviews?
Yeah.
Oh, leave us a bad review for that one. But those email providers cover a lot of the CAN spam laws that many of us tend to break sending emails from our personal email account. They also handle deliverability a lot and keep their senders protected so that your email has more of an opportunity to get delivered. If you send a lot of promotional emails through your personal email, your emails will start landing in the promotional tab for most of your emails that aren't intended to be promotional. And I know our sugar cookie marketing emails end up in your promotional tab.
Why?
Because they're promotions. That is where it's supposed to end up.
I sent an email to myself from Corey at Sugar Cookie Marketing to Corey at Target Rocket, and I went to my promotions.
Oh, really?
I was talking to myself.
Why are you emailing yourself?
Sometimes I email Rosemary.
Maybe that's more of the issue I'm looking to. But how you configure and use your email address does affect a lot. Do you use Corey at Sugar Cookie Marketing to email anybody a lot?
Not a lot, no.
So the more you use it for general correspondence with people, the less likely it will head to the promotional.
Okay. Send me an email, guys.
Corey at sugarcookiemarketing.com. Ask her why.
You can ask me all non-marketing related questions there.
You can only do not email me. I get a lot of emails. But that's a great one. What are some other options for
Another option?
TikTok. I hate to say it. It's another social media platform that is taking the world by storm, but it's also got a very relaxed algorithm.
Yeah, and it's very much video based.
Tanya Clowers.
Yeah, she's amazing on there.
But she got solicited by Lad Bible.
I know.
To sell some
Is it
of her
Lad
videos.
or LAD Bible?
I have no idea.
I've always just spelled it out.
I said it quietly under my
Yeah. You're in a sing-songy thing. Okay, next is Nextdoor.
Nextdoor is a great one. Now,
You need to
Nextdoor.
sign up.
I need to set it up. I was going to do a class on it in the cookie college.
Okay.
But we had some dropouts I had to deal with. Just kidding. Thank
you, Dean Heather.
Dean. Nextdoor is a new kind of social networking app based off of your home's location. Now, it's not based off of friends. It's based off of proximity. Some places it's taken off. Like here where we live, it is so popular. In more rural towns, I don't think Nextdoor is going to be a great option.
In the apartment I was in Ashburn a few years back, it had not taken off. So when I went to sign up, it said, "Congratulations, you're a founder." I said, no.
You open up your neighborhood, and then you become the founding member of your neighborhood. And through you, it'll send 300 postcards to your neighbors asking them to sign up.
Yeah, I said, no, thank you. I don't want my neighbors to know my name.
Right. Corey lived in an apartment. But here, so I live in Burke. It's an older neighborhood. You can use it to tell people if you're doing trick-or-treating this year. You can use it to find a lost dog, list furniture for sale or for free.
There's a lot of people who do not use Facebook who are on Nextdoor.
So I know a lot of you are starting that grumble deep down saying, my Nextdoor doesn't allow. Okay. Because Nextdoor does not allow self-promotion. It now allows us business pages.
Yes.
So with a business page, you can make 2 posts per month within a 2-mile radius of your home that will reach any neighborhoods that fall within that and not violate
that
any
my
laws.
neighbors could potentially buy from me so they could just walk on over.
Plan it, but I wouldn't. The business page is attached to an address, but so is your pickup. So if you're like, well, I don't want people to know my address, then maybe Nextdoor is not a great idea for you.
But you can invest and buy zip codes.
So you can sponsor zip codes. So one of our clients is sponsoring as many high-end zip codes as they can. They're spending about $2,000 a month on it.
Yeah.
And every month they get a post 2 times in each zip code they're not even remotely close to. And right now, right before COVID, it was the number 1 generator of foot traffic for any of their events.
So if you do have a Nextdoor, or if you've never heard of it, do some research. See if it's active in your community, because you will never get something more pinpointed than that.
Right. It's your neighbors, man. And you're forcing yourself into their feed. If you follow your own personal neighborhood's rules, then you could probably make some self-promotion there as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, our workaround on that one is the Main Street Cookie Collab.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be. I have to make it. The cookie's made. I just have to flood it.
Okay, bye.
We have to go this week. Isn't it Friday?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
On Wednesday we have to go take photos. Maybe we can do after that.
Okay.
Okay. So That's basically the Tuesday thing. Diversify your lead sources.
Yes, so that you can potentially not shut down. If you were like me and then you posted a foot comment and then my profile was banned eternally, would that close down my business? Would I still have access to my Facebook business page and to my Instagram?
Another great option is Corey isn't the only admin on her business page. I am a secondary admin. I hate it.
But she can I turned off all the notifications for her, so she didn't have to deal with me.
I still see some of them for some reason. But now if Corey's account gets banned, I still have access to either manage the page in the worst case scenario or give her new fake account, if it doesn't get banned, access back to it. Mm-hmm. So that's a workaround. A lot of people who are sole managers of their page, when they lose access, they lose it completely. And they will lose access to that page. Right. And all of its content. So if I could encourage you to create, add your husband, add your wife, hide your kids to your Facebook page, and then turn off their notifications.
Also, that having Heather as my other admin of the page was
great twice in one podcast.
Heather's fantastic. Is when my ability to be on Facebook went down, I logged into Heather's profile and was able to still post to my business
Seeing
page.
you comment as me to your own, like, hey, this is, I didn't write that.
I made you look good. Supportive.
Log out of me. You're back, right?
I like it.
No, I don't like seeing that I said things. I got a notification. I didn't write that. People were replying.
People were liking your comment.
It wasn't me. Okay, so then what did you want to talk about?
If Facebook never goes down again. Here's the thing. If you're like, hey, I don't know, I posted something and I didn't get any likes or shares, what am I doing? I switched all my photos. Here's the thing. If you do not like and comment on other people's thing, how can you think that people would do it for you? Investing in people will show them they want to invest back into you. If you don't post to your Facebook page for 6 months and then you do post, I don't expect magic to happen. That's not how the algorithm works.
Yeah, I'm just going to dog on these poor members one time. I said, hey, you want to post up a link to your page? If you post a link to your page, critique somebody else's page, just go back through and say, hey.
My profile was down that day.
Yeah, it turned into a snowballish nightmare. I couldn't even keep up with the comments. But when I clicked your profile and your pin post is from 2019 and the post made before that is from 2020, hey, buddy, it doesn't matter what optimizations I tell you, you have to be active on the platform. And active doesn't mean one post a month. It definitely doesn't mean one post a year.
But some people are like, I don't know what to post. Here's the thing. I don't remember what I had for dinner 2 nights ago. So you repurposing content from last year is absolutely fine.
Absolutely. You only reach 2% of that audience anyways, is what the rumor has it. 2%. If you had 10 people on your page, only 2 people are seeing any post at any given time. So reposting and then using a lot of the information you've gathered in the last year from the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, the tips, copy tips, things like that, it is fine. It is better than nothing.
This is why when photography, I'm saying spend a little extra time. Piece out the cookies. Take out all the little baby onesies. Take a photo of just the baby onesies. Then do the baby onesies with just another cookie. So it's just a 2 cookie photo. Then do the whole set. Do you see where I'm going here? I'm creating a lot of content from one big effort. So that cookie set is going to provide me content all the way up. Now I mingle that with the other sets I'm doing. My page looks so fresh and fancy that it doesn't look like I'll ever run out of content because I've taken so much time with my photography and rearranged it so it looks like fresh content. No one's ever getting stale content. And I'm also never running out of content because if you're doing a few sets a week and you take those pictures and you post them up right away, you are going to run out of content. Mm-hmm. But piece out things in there, and then showcase your reviews. That's more content that you can have. I don't care if someone just sent you a message, crop out the names and post that review up there. It still adds value and it's still active on your page. Some people took some time off this summer to spend time with their families. Absolutely fine. It doesn't mean you need to abandon your Facebook page because when you come back to it, it's so much harder to reignite that fire in your followers than it is if you just trickled out content. I love a good meme every once in a while. That's easy. A lot of people can relate to it. My newest thing that I've been doing to help add like a location feel to my page is going to farmers markets that I'm already going to anyways and taking photos while I'm there. So I'm saying, hey, GMV people, DMV is what we call this area up here. Look, I brought you to the Burke Farmers Market. So what it's doing,
those are really nice.
yeah, it's something that ties me to my location. So people will be like, oh my goodness, I go to the Burke Farmers Market. Now we have a rapport already going, but it also shows people more content. So I want to become a resource instead of always pushing out sales all the time. I would like to become a resource. Like, hey, here's the pumpkin patch me and my son went to last week. But then they see a picture of my son. Oh, she's a mom. Oh my goodness, that's so fun. And then we get more of a connection there.
Relatable, interesting content that makes you a knowledge resource and not just a sales funnel.
Yeah. So it's just when you guys think that one post is going to make you $1 million, it's hard to. No.
What?
It's not.
What?
When you post one time for a sale and you posted October 1st for a sale that's happening October 30th, and then you get disheartened that no one bought you out.
Nah, so that's why we call them marketing campaigns. It's a campaign. You sit down, you strategize, you come up with a posting schedule, you come up with an email sending schedule, you find out who you can cross promote with if you're doing a farmer's market, message the farmer's market host and say, hey, I've created this post for you guys. Things like that. You got to really dig in there. One post, if we sold out of the Cookie College with one post, I would retire. But I want to let you know how much we talked about it and pushed it and emailed about it and were absolutely annoying. I know some of you are annoyed about it.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Episode 7 of the podcast, Corey said, tell everybody right in the group, because no one understood that there was a podcast. It was hard to disseminate information, especially through Facebook. Mm-hmm. Corey said, write that. You can't believe we said that on the podcast. The amount of people, that is still the most listened to episode of all the episodes. This is episode 32. Episode 7 is the #1 most listened to episode because that was the only way we could get the information that there was a podcast out, is being absolutely annoying about it.
So for your campaigns to be a one post and then you just feel like giving up, that's not what marketing is about. I don't have Halloween on my mind right now, but that's because
it's like 85 degrees.
My son has 2 tests this week. My husband's going back to work. It's just not something that's on my radar. But you can't just give up with one post. It has to be in your face constantly. When we're actually posting for something, I'm posting every single day about it, especially when classes are coming up. I'm so annoying about it because my goal is to get buns in seats.
Right.
So I would never just post once about the class and be like, oh, Heather, well, that's a fail there.
Well, I posted twice. Still not enough. If you're saying, hey, I had this if you say, hey, I had this event, it didn't work out, and I say, how did you promote it? I better see it line item after line item of ways that you were absolutely annoying about it and it still didn't work.
Email list that you went to your local group pages and you found out when you could do a sales post, and that was the post you made.
I want to know that you have a spreadsheet of your local groups and which days they allow sales posts.
Heather only said that because she does have a spreadsheet of her local group.
I hate the flyer, hate the game.
But I'm not trying to be mean, but you can't give up so fast. It's sad when I see people get so discouraged, but then I look back, I'm like, there's only one post you made about it. When me and Heather go to buy something, we walk past Aldo shoes probably 5 times before we finally walk in and like, let's do it.
Love that. But I love it when Corey finally is like, let's go.
But there's 6 times that we've walked past Aldo. Do you think Aldo, what if we walked past and I was like, well, another person walked by?
Something I've always heard. I worked in network marketing and sales for a while. They say the average touch point, that means the time you engage with a client, a prospective client, to become a paying client is 12. 12 times. Most people stop at the second. So that means an email, a phone call, a message, a Facebook post, things like that. Not to be, just absolutely annoying, but you got to have that kind of marketing mindset.
Right.
One single post on Facebook, not going to cut it. If you say, well, I don't even have an email list, there's your assignment. Yeah. Get that email list going. But I don't know where to get that emails. Everyone who's ever bought from you.
Yeah, have a campaign about emails. Whether if you have to do, hey, give me your email, sign up for the email right here, and you'll be a chance to win a free DIY kit. There you go. Jump-started your email list.
The most beautiful thing I can tell people is you're not unique at all. There's nothing special about you.
No, I see how many cookie people are near me.
There are so many cookie people, and they all are making money because they're implementing these practices. So you're not unique. Your situation is not special. You haven't touched the one group in all of the United States or world who doesn't like cookies. They like cookies. We all like sweets. I'm single-handedly just tearing through some cakes when I go out.
You do.
But
can I say one strategy that I have? Posting in a local group, there's group algorithms. If you have ever been in sugar cookie marketing for a hot minute, you know that some posts trend, all the drama ones about ants and cookies trend, and then the ones who are like, how do I change my GMB from bakery to glasses?
I see you, GMB.
Those don't trend because that's a lot harder content. A lot of people can associate with, ants and cookies than they can with GMB optimization.
It has everything. It's a juicy reality TV show of a Facebook group.
Yeah. So
and when you can post, I'm not saying like ask a GMB question with an ant and a cookie, but if the photo did have that.
Yeah, if you go into a local group and you post up, here's my sales offerings, and you don't get any engagement, that's not new. That's normal. But then get up your twin sister.
Corey.
You send her a link. And I don't even need Heather anymore. Send her the link and say, hey, can you bump this up with some engagement? So Heather will come, even though we're twins, no one cares.
You can clearly see we have the same last name of Mira. I'm just kidding.
Miracle. But Heather will come and she'll be like, oh my goodness, save me some of these. Of course, it looks very natural because she's my twin sister. But then our mutual friends actually see her comment and then it's shown into their feeds as well.
But it also looks like Corey has more engagement on her post. My cousin does like an at-home car detailing thing. So every time he makes a post, I say, hey, like, how did you clean that off? It was a true question. How'd you get that off? And he'll answer the question. And I had a friend of mine saying, hey, isn't that kid that details your cousin? I said, yeah. I said, well, why don't you just ask him in person? And I get the hilarity of it, but I'm saying,
look at you right now. You saw
that. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of that working with your close contacts to ask them to help boost you. And if you feel weird about it, I gotta say, you just gotta get over it. If you want to make those sales.
Here's a campaign for you guys that I want you to try. On your next order, say, hey, I'll throw in 2 extra cookies for you if you can go to insert this group URL and thank me and tag my business page in that group. It's going to feel so unnatural because you're like, well, I only want them to say they like me if they do. If you do not ask, you shall not receive. So incentivize people to be your cheerleader. It's so hard to get out there in front of people, but I swear my cousin did clean my car. So I took those pictures. I posted them in a local group and I said, hey, this local firefighter cleaned my car. He did a spectacular job. Look how clean it is. And he got 4 sales from that. Just because I was willing to shout his name. You have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Don't just think people will do it. They don't.
No. Aldo done. Okay. So yeah, we walked past the Aldo store, which is a shoe store in Tyson's, like 6 times. But I want to let you know, I've gotten their Facebook ad 5 times. I've gotten a letter from them with all their current promotions, like in the mail. And then I get an email from them every other day.
Me and Heather shop at this clothing store called Express. And when you buy something from them, they have a rewards program. And it says, if you review this item, we'll give you 5 points. Barely anything, but they're incentivizing me to share my loves of their clothing so other people will buy it. And what's a reward point or 2 for them? It's absolutely nothing because I have to spend money to get it.
I want to let you 5 points is buying you nothing. But it's an incentive. It is asking someone to take it.
And they're asking for it. They're asking for it, granted in an email, but hey.
How else can Express get to us?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it really does work. So using that knowledge, basically look at how you shop. What was the last thing you bought? How many times did I talk about the Dyson blow dryer?
1 million times.
And then I went into the store and
do you know my twin trust today is the stupid car tray? Do you want to know how many physical
She's not being rude. It's literally called the stupid car tray.
And the band that holds your stuff is called the stupid car band.
Okay, so let's skip over to Twinterest and this unstructured podcast that we have going on. Feel free to leave us a bad review about the laughing and the tapping, clearly.
That was a Diet Coke hitting the table like a normal person.
Okay, so in the Twinterest, somebody in the group posted about it. Is that why you bought it?
No, it was an ad.
And then I saw it in the group. So I'm not sure if they're running a campaign, but there's this thing called the stupid car tray. Why is it stupid? It's because it levels out your car seat so that your baked goods can sit straight up.
It's genius.
It's genius because it's stupid and it makes a ton of sense. So Corey went out and bought one. I saw it in the Facebook group. It is literally called the stupid car tray.
It's written on there.
Stupid car tray. But it keeps cakes, cupcakes, cookies level, and then you can buckle them in or something.
So you can buckle the tray in. So if you are in a violent car accident, your cookies would be saved. But you can buckle the tray itself, and it levels out your seat, so it's never tilted. Because I was like, I hate that the cookies are tilted because it puts
putting
so
a
much
pizza
weight
in your passenger seat. That's what it's preventing, that slide.
Yeah, and there's so much weight on one cookie when it's being in the car. So I said, this will level it out. Plus, there's this band that you can Velcro across the top to hold your boxes in place so they don't fly forward when you
Which
stop.
you've had a sudden stop.
Yes.
And a cookie break.
And a sudden drop.
So that's cool. But now look, okay, so Corey got targeted in an ad multiple times. It's been posted in the group, and now you guys are hearing about it again. You have 3 touch points for the stupid car tray. At what point are you going to look it up and think about the purchase, and how many more times will you have to hear about it again before you make that purchase?
They're like, no, I'm right here on the
Someone's
website.
like, I bought it yesterday. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But look at your own sales cycle, what converts you, and then imagine that your end user isn't too far off from the same mental state to make a purchase.
Yeah. That is my twin twist, the stupid car tray. I thought I was going to hate it, and I didn't want to tell anyone about it.
And then I got in, and she's like, got to move my stupid car tray.
It honestly is great. I tried to buckle into the seat. If I want to do an honest review, it was $29, but they had a coupon code attached to the ad.
Look at Corey go, guys.
Girl, got it for like $24.99, I think. But my seats that aren't flush, the way that it buckles isn't flush, so it did it almost pushed it out just a little bit from where it was supposed to be seated nicely. If I'm doing my honest review,
a wider seat would have been better.
If maybe the seatbelt buckle wasn't so high, it created too much room. So it pushed it out, but I needed like a flush
Make
against
a
the car.
TikTok of it.
Okay.
Like tell people what you like and don't like about it.
Okay. Oh, I can do that.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, so I strapped my cookies in this morning for the delivery, which I thought was fantastic, and we cruised across Nova.
Just not working.
Stopping and starting.
Okay, so that's a good one. My twin twist has been based off of what happened on Tuesday.
What is this, your little app?
Yeah. So when I grabbed my phone for the 73rd time to open up Facebook and realize it wasn't loading, then here's a coaster.
Heather realized she
here's a coaster, so you can slam your Diet Coke.
Okay, guys,
down.
for anyone who's thinking that I'm overly tapping today, I am drinking a Diet Coke, and it has to be set down on the table, and that's what you're hearing. Sometimes my ring did tap twice.
Queso. So yes,
Okay.
cheese. I'm hungry. I should get all into this.
Okay.
So
Stop.
leave
There's
it
a
okay.
So.
Sorry, guys. We should have done this last week. I grabbed my phone so many times, it was outrageous. How many times I looked at the screen only to realize it hadn't loaded. So anyways, I'm in college, and I only do the work on the weekends because I'm lazy. But I put it off so long, opening TikTok, opening Facebook, laughing, whatever, that I said yesterday, I have to get around this. Like something is mentally wrong with me how many times I grab my phone.
Yeah.
So I found an app. You're going to be blown away by the name. It's like the stupid car tray apps. It's called App Blocker. App Blocker. But what you could set it to a bunch of different things. So it disables the apps that I select for certain periods of time. So I can say like disable from 9 to 11. And then disable again from 1 to 6.
You want to get them non-marketing questions in 9 to 11.
So, and then I can say, so I did that with TikTok. Like I can't open TikTok.
Heather is addicted to TikTok.
I don't have a TV and I don't have Netflix, so it is like my TV. That's how I'm writing off.
I watch TikTok while I'm watching Netflix.
We haven't seen her family in 5 years.
My husband's like, what happened? Did she die? And I said, I'm going to be honest, I don't know.
But did you see this cat? And then a secondary thing that the app does is limit how many times you can open a certain app within an hour or a day.
If someone wants an eye-opener, Instagram tracks how long you've been in the app if you would like to have a humbling...
So here's another thing this app does. It pulls in all the data. So you let it run through your own phone, and it says, okay, do you want to, and then it asks you when I download it, said, how long do you think you've been on your phone this week? And it asked me a series of questions.
It had you a question?
And then it told me what it actually was.
Are you going to keep this going? Because you do live on your phone.
But I got, you know what? I got all my homework done at 3. I vacuumed. I got a head cold somehow. I didn't even leave the house.
The Cookie Bookie Rookie Nookie Club is doing a day off of social media. You can choose your day.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
so a lot of
genius.
people were forced to choose my day.
That's genius. They won't steal this podcast until tomorrow. I was wondering because I did tag her. Laura heads up the Sugar Cookie Bookies Club. It's a really great book club, and they cover one book a month that'll really honestly just change the way your business works. I think they're doing Profit first. They just finished it up, and they're moving on to something else.
She hasn't
She's
picked it, I think, yeah.
Yeah. You can kind of submit your request and see if you can move her in a direction. Bonus points if it includes tomatoes.
She loves fruit, but definitely tomato.
Okay, so that was my Twin Twist. It's called App Blocker. I don't know. I looked, but my phone. But every time I go to TikTok, it says, "Hey, this is the 5th time you've tried to open this today."
Wow, you're going light today.
Let me see what I did. Okay, let's see if I open TikTok. It says it said TikTok is blocked by the Work Focus Profile app. App is blocked until 11:30. You try to open it 1 time this hour, 5 times today. Don't waste your time and be productive.
So just reading that, you waste about 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, you start seeing, oh yeah, I forgot I blocked it. So that covers, okay, let's cover our...
Can I talk about the cookie collab for this week?
Oh,
Since
yeah,
I have not been able to
post. Talk about it again tomorrow.
Okay, guys, we are doing on Friday. Is that the 15th, correct? Yes.
Right.
She's like,
yes.
Okay, on the 15th, we are doing a Main Street cookie collab. This is where you can replicate something on your main street in your town. So whether it be a sign, a statue, a well-loved small business, you replicate that in baked form. So I'm making a cookie of Claire's at the Depot. It's a much-loved restaurant down in Warrenton that Heather really, really wants to go to. But people...
Claire's at the Depot for my DMV people. Christina, if you're listening to this, she also recommended it too. It's just really...
Okay. So... we're making a bake in that, and then we're all posting at the same time on Friday. And on Friday on Instagram, we're going to go to everyone's profile who uses the hashtag Sugar Cookie Marketing Collab and hashtag Sugar Cookie Marketing, and we're going to go and exchange engagement. So not only does this work marketing wise with you in your small business in your town, where you can showcase a great place, back to my diversifying your content. This is a great way to show that you're local and show your talents all in one fell swoop. But then we can engage with your content and give you a boost in the algorithm. So I saw how much content people got in the last 2 collabs we did, and it was like 3 times their normal amount of engagement.
Okay, gotta do my little disclaimer. Using somebody's logo without written permission violates their copyright. If you want to get around that, ask the business if you can, or risk it. You know, at the end of the day, your business, your risks. If you're doing Disney stuff though, buddy, you already risked it.
Yeah,
you're good.
Keep doing what you're doing.
If you're doing LOL dolls, come here to the Main Street Cookie
But I've never, as a small business owner myself, before I even did cookies, if someone ever came to me with something with my logo on it, this one company did send me this giant puzzle.
It was a
giant glass
frame.
Puzzled frame, and in the center was my business's logo.
It was so heavy, and it was so nice. And they were just soliciting us to have them as like
software
a white label.
they wanted somewhere.
Wow, just absolutely sued the pants off of them. Just kidding.
No, we loved it. It's hanging on my wall in my office.
So it's if you want to violate copyright, technically using somebody's logo is that.
I would say if you wanted to start a business relationship, say, hey, I was doing this collab. Can I feature? And guess what? You've already started growing your relationship and be like, I can't wait to tag you on social media.
Get the Instagram manager involved, which will be the business owner. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, but then there's the relationship. So there's nothing bad about this collab. Take part in it if you want to. I am excited about it.
The key bonus points to really get some juice out of this is find a business that is active on Instagram. A business that doesn't have an Instagram, they're not going to reshare it. A business that hasn't posted in 2 years probably doesn't remember their login credentials. Ask me how I know. Find somebody that's active. Find something that is also a fan favorite. That's going to respond. That's going to resonate well with your audience. So we're doing Claire's at the Depot. A lot of people recommend that restaurant as is. Their last post was 7 days ago. A little bit of a risky click on that one, but I think we'll be fine.
But I think I can share it to the Western Prince William chatter.
So there's a Facebook group that absolutely loves shouting that business from the top, and Corey's going to post it in there and say, what should I order? Because we haven't
What's your favorite? Right. Did this collab. Now I got to go.
So that's a great one. That's another great tip. And another great tip for the engagement portion is post as close as the time that everyone posts. If you post 8 hours late, you're going to get a lot less engagement from our group. Just because everyone's supposed to post at the same time. Now, if you're saying, well, I don't know time zones, I done made a Google Doc for you to understand time zones. Also, you can Google it.
So is it 12 Eastern Standard?
I think it's 12 Eastern Standard Time. So Central people, that'll be 11. Pacific people, were you 3 hours behind us? That'll be 10.
Something like
Hawaii, you guys are relaxing. It doesn't even matter.
But the strategy behind that is the faster you post around 12 Eastern Standard, the more engagement you'll get because people will be on the platform
From the
ready
group,
to
from
engage.
our group.
Yeah.
So that's that one. And then our sponsors are, you know what, I'm really excited because everyone thought they needed a website on Tuesday. And Cast Iron is our latest and greatest sponsor, and they are a website builder. Now, they pushed out their launch date by a week or two. I think you can still join their beta program, castiron.me. Let me check real quick. You keep talking.
So Cast Iron is a place where you can build a website, and it's very intuitive, and it's actually made for bakers. That's the great part about it. If you were doing something on WordPress, that's made for anybody. But Cast Iron is dedicated to baking businesses.
So Mark, founder, owner, operator, Mark is a baker and has sat in the group and read everyone's issues. Yeah. Now, yeah, Mark has got pretty cool. Him and Emily are kind of like spearheading this. Emily's our point of contact. She's in the group. If you ever have any questions, you can spam her. But they're constantly, I don't know if you saw her post last week, she asked everyone to tell them their gripes about custom orders. You know why? They want to fix it. They want to fix the problem with custom orders through Cast Iron. And castiron.me is their website. Their big launch date is coming up. And guess what they're doing?
What?
They're giving away 10 Snapper gift cards, which is $129 value to get a photo shoot done to members of the group.
So photo shoot for them or photo shoot for their products?
I don't know yet. I think it's whatever you might want, but I have to dig into it. But either way, they're giving 10 of those away on their launch day.
I think we'll do 5 in the main group and 5 in the Cookie College.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that is such a fun idea. And then Mark and Emily are truly dedicated to making people's lives easier. Now, here's the catch. Whatever. It's pay to play, right? So Cast Iron is actually completely free to use. It's completely free to set up your business. It's completely free to set up your account. It's free to post the link. The only paid portion is when you make a sale. They'll do take 15%. And I know that sounds shice, but it's actually, if you think about it, if you're not making sales through a website right now, this might be the best investment possible. If you're struggling with Square, if you're struggling with Shopify, you're struggling with Wix, Cast Iron is here to fix all your problems.
So a similar company that me and Heather use for our cookie classes is Eventbrite.
And they take commissions.
Eventbrite takes commissions off of each person who buys a ticket, but you know why it's fine and why we have justified that cost
is because it's not an Eventbrite?
Yeah. Oh, it was a chaos. It saves us so much time. They send the reminder emails. They take care of the payment processing.
Check in. I can check in from an app. They handle all that. It's really
and then you can be searched on Eventbrite.
Right. So Cast Iron is kind of like that. So it's absolutely free. It's zero risk to sign up and create an account and build it out. They make it very hard to mess it up. You don't have so much elbow room to get crazy because they said they want to fix all the problems right up front.
Yeah, and I think letting people go willy-nilly and be like, what do I do?
That's where issues are introduced. But they have it like so you can offer delivery for certain zip codes for a certain amount. And then other zip codes, I don't do delivery at all, or Nick's delivery at all. And then hide your address until like the order is fulfilled. It's really intuitive how they did it. Okay. Pretty nice. And then they're creating email marketing within the platform. So anyone who's purchased from you can also get emails from you.
Well, Heather's setting me up a profile in there, so she'll tell you how it goes.
Yeah. It'll be great. And now our other sponsor is, Eddie.
Dang.
You had some experience with Eddie this weekend.
Guys, you'd be so proud of me. Heather is the techie twin between the two of us. I'm the creative artist.
Artiste.
I'm not an artist, but Heather is the techie one between of us. So she actually
between of us?
Between of us. Art thou not between of us? What is that? You deserve that. Yay, be on the podcast, you weirdo. So Eddie, I needed to use him for a corporate order I did this morning, but I wanted to learn him myself. Heather did give me this little tiny tip, which I used.
Eddie logged into the Cookie College and took my class on Eddie to learn how to use it.
I did it. I'm at rest of one. It was ginormous. The logo was hanging off the side, and then I fixed it.
So Eddie is a sponsor. I think they did absolutely wonderful. CookieCon Dallas finished up. Well, I'd like to say it finished up. I think some people are still stranded from the Southwest. Southwest. Hey, guys, if you took Southwest after hearing me in the podcast,
you deserve it. I'm just kidding.
So I guess Southwest is based out of Dallas.
Do not make this a newscast.
Southwest, based out of Dallas, canceled over 1,000 flights yesterday, stranding people at CookieCon Dallas. CookieCon announced the next CookieCon.
Which is?
In Reno, March 2nd through the 5th, 2022.
Yeah, so earlier on in the year, they don't know if there's going to be a second one. She said if all the stars align, maybe
She said she was
two.
exhausted. Could you imagine when we went to CookieCon, Florida, CookieCon Orlando, and then poor Mike and Karen flew out to Dallas a month later to do it all over again? I can't imagine the work. And Dallas was even bigger than Orlando.
And people were canceling, which is fine, and they took it in such stride.
Oh, those two are champs. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot ball.
No, that was insane. It was a blast, though. It was an
if you
blast.
could save, actually, speaking of this just absolutely impromptu podcast that we have going on, YNAB, you need a budget. It's an acronym. I actually use it in my personal life. I just had to pay the renewal fee, hurt my heart a little bit. But it is a budgeting app that you can use for your business. So how do you use it for your business? Don't worry about it. YNAB has volunteered it's Aaron,
one of
right?
the high ups, yeah.
Yeah, one of the high ups who has a personal business on the side. YNAB's like one of those like super chill, like remote culture businesses that it supports you having multiple income streams. She's teaching it. Who are they patterning the class after?
Connie the cookier.
Connie the cookier who wants to save for CookieCon. And Aaron's going to show us how to budget for that and then how YNAB can kind of work into that. But I think it's more of like a budgeting as a whole and then how YNAB can integrate.
Budgeting as a cookier. So Connie the cookier, her struggles are she doesn't know how to budget for expenses like her oven. She wants to buy all the supplies off the bat, but she doesn't want to.
She found a Hobby Lobby and stuff.
So they're creating this profile, Connie the cookier, that's going to have the same struggles that a lot of people do have, and how she can set up her budget to help her reach those goals.
I love it.
Our final. What is the word? Sponsor.
I was like our final
countdown. You've sung all day today.
My head cold has got me to me.
Our final
silly, goofy
sponsor, and if you guys sell her out, I
think she
swear.
did.
I cannot not have this. It is Bakety Bakes, and she is a cooker in Idaho, and she makes this meringue powder.
Would you recommend Bakety Bakes if you didn't like it?
No.
What were you were worried that you wouldn't like it? Why?
Because I've used the one that everyone
Genie's?
has, for so long.
So how are they different from each other?
So Genie's is not bad. If you had no struggle with Genie's, stay with Genie's. It's easy to get too. But I have never been able to write on cookies with a fine tip marker. It's always poked through, and when it pokes through, it creates this little tiny hole, and the black bleeds through the bottom of it, and it's like, wow, she definitely.
So that's your bet that Bakety Bakes solves that problem. Okay.
Yeah. So Bakety Bakes, I wrote on this. I replicated a funny dollar bill, like
that
actual.
was with the Bakety Bakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I replicated a dollar bill, but I had to draw the entire Washington's face, every part of the dollar
Corey had
bill.
a client, and one of their employees had reached the highest sales number ever, and they wanted to give her a set of custom cookies.
Yeah.
So
I made this, replicated a dollar bill, an actual dollar bill size, and I drew on it, and it never poked through once. And that was yesterday. So that my world has changed. The next thing that it does is Genie's tends to crust over a little bit faster. Bakety Bakes gives you just a little bit more time to fix your issues and leveling out. Yeah, we're going to use Genie so I can get rid of it. So I can use it.
It's because Bakety Bakes isn't as cheap, though. So that's the trade-off,
The price per pound is relatively the same. The problem is the shipping is a little bit more.
Okay. So, hey, you want...
But you can actually save 10% by using Twins at checkout.
Oh, great. So those are our 3 sponsors.
Those are our 3 sponsors.
Thank you guys for sponsoring the podcast. Otherwise, this podcast is not cheap to run.
And we've paid for it for a year.
Yeah. Just the equipment alone to run this podcast is over $1,300. That's just the hardware. And then the software itself is a monthly subscription. But hey, this is what you got to invest in your business to make money. And our sponsors help keep this very spontaneous podcast going.
Yeah. So if you had a business, say if you were like, I really wish I could reach the people of sugar cookie marketing.
I really wish I could reach
them. You could, if you were like a cutter shop, if you were a recipe developer or something like that, there is a sponsorship option for you, whether it be the email newsletter, showcasing something in the Cookie College, or being a podcast sponsor. So we've made it kind of for everybody.
Yeah, but also appreciate that the 3 people who we've accepted as sponsors have actually made a difference. I think Cast Iron's going to blow some socks off. Really, obviously, we like Eddie. If you invest in an Eddie, obviously, he's not cheap. Eddie is $3,000.
I brought in an Eddie order today. Part of that dollar, I put their logo on some cookies, and they said we will be ordering corporate cookies for Christmas from you.
Yeah. I know some people love to argue, especially in the group. That's why I locked down most of the Eddie question threads, because it becomes hey, do you have any talent pressing the print button? buddy, I don't care if you're
I ain't
selling
got time, but I got money.
toasty cracker. Yeah, if you can sell it, that's what our group is about, not the talent. And you didn't do that right. I don't care if it looks like it ate the black fine point marker. If you can sell it, that's the goal. And Eddie allows you to sell at scale. So whether or not you think Eddie has any talent involved, I really just don't care.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I can't create a cookie because I'm not good at it, but I can press a print button and I can sell Eddie cookies.
Yeah,
and
so
I can sell
if it
them
gives someone the opportunity to enter this industry, whether, they just find out royal icing isn't the easiest for them to work with, but they can do these Eddie cookies, we need to be everyone's cheerleader.
Some people are only selling chocolate dipped Oreos with an edible image on the top, and they're making a ton.
Yeah.
And I think the talent comes in being able to sell. You can be the most amazing cookie decorator, and if you don't know how to sell, it does not matter.
True. Now I'm going to roll over to the course highlight. Trying to remember what is part of this podcast. And I would like to let everyone know that I worked very, very hard on giving all away my Instagram secrets.
Dallas has a couple critiques. I think she said 2 of the videos I have to download to watch.
No, 2 of the videos I think were in 2 different sections.
Hey, but then she just said another one.
Rude.
She's
What?
helping you.
How
She
would I
said that you
download it?
uploaded them in a weird way. Now she has to download them.
Girl, get your download. Just kidding, I'll fix it. But I went through Instagram, setting up your profile, strategy behind bios. If you look at my account, I've grown a ton of them. But do I have the most followers? No. But do I have a ton of engagement and do I make sales from it? Yes. And that is my ultimate goal, is to have these profiles work for me. So we take you step by step through Instagram. I say we, it was mostly me.
It was 100% Gore. I did nothing.
But I love Instagram. I love the research I've done into it. So it was super fun for me to take you through the strategies that I use to create more engagement, to get more people involved, to create rapport and friendships. Blah.
There you go. That's a good one. Okay, and then if I can remember back to the Facebook Lives with the Biscotti Babe.
She did.
Taught us how to do biscottis. And then all I can remember is that Meredy did the
She did the
Cinnabon and the cake.
pops,
No.
ice cream cones,
Yes.
cake cones.
Cake cones. And
Yeah.
she said it was a workaround if you couldn't do cake pops.
Yeah, which I can't do cake pops, but I think I'm feeling I'm going to try again soon.
Oh, okay, good. Well, then take Meredy's signature to that.
And I made her cinnamon rolls. First
They were
one was a
delicious.
total loss.
But the second one.
Was a win.
Right. And there's a Google Sheet that has all the list of the lives and the links to them. And then one of the members is going through and annotating them. Fascinating that people put their time and effort into people like that. But you can watch it. We have a couple lives coming up, but we'll cover that tomorrow in tomorrow's podcast.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Anything else?
We did the Twinterests. We did the Spawns.
We didn't do voicemails because I'm not prepared.
Right. No voices. We have a song. All right, guys. I think that pulls us at least back to where we normally are. So tomorrow you'll get a double dose.
Hey, yo. Okay, have a great one, guys.